Let's talk about designing your dream board, i.e., working out who you'd really like to have on your board of trustees. So, these are the different steps that you need to take. First of all of your trustee recruitment should be aligned with your strategy, with your future plans. Now, your strategy might be a beautiful, long, strategic document, or it might just be something that you know is your strategy. It doesn't matter. But you need alignment between where your organisation is going and who is going to be on the board to support it. The next thing that you'll need to consider is who you've already got. Now, that's both who you've already got on your board, but also who you've got on your staff team, if you have one, in your volunteers, in your advisors, and so on. You don't need to have absolutely everything in your board of trustees. You'll then want to look at who is leaving. And quite medium term. So if somebody is due to be leaving in a year or two, now is the time to be thinking about those gaps. And then all of this forms a picture for you of what the gaps are. There are some very useful board audit tools that you can use to work out who you already have on your board of trustees. The first top tip is to always adapt them to your organisation. What one organisation needs is not going to be the same as what the next organisation needs. And my second tip is to think about how to frame this process when you're introducing it to your board. So this isn't about saying that your current board is lacking in some way. This is about saying that you're ambitious for the organisation and that you understand that both internal and external environments shift and that trustees come and go. So you need to keep refreshing your board. Now, there are links there to two tools. One is a skills audit, actually skills, knowledge and experience from Reach Volunteering. And the other is a diversity audit, also from Reach Volunteering. And the Reach Volunteering's trustee recruitment cycle is an absolutely brilliant place to go for tips and templates around trustee recruitment. Now, in terms of your skills audit, skills is shorthand really for skills, knowledge and experience. They're three different things. They overlap. It isn't totally important actually what counts as a skill, what's a knowledge and what's an experience. But it is important to think that you need to think beyond skills. So for example, knowledge of NHS commissioning isn't really a skill, it's a knowledge area, isn't it? Experience of mental health struggles isn't a skill either, it's an experience or knowledge area. You should also think quite broadly about who you might need on your board. So it's very tempting to say every board needs a lawyer, every board needs an accountant and so on. And actually, that isn't great recruitment. You really need to think about what your organisation needs in its next stage of development. And then think about removing your unnecessary criteria. So once you've got your wish list, here are some criteria that crop up quite commonly in trustee recruitment, and you need a really good reason to keep any of these in. You might have a good reason, by the way, but often there aren't good reasons and you can remove them. So do you really need to have somebody who's been a trustee or another sort of board member before? Now, it might be that you do. It might be that you need more charity governance experience on your board, but often you don't. Do they need to have a degree? And these criteria add extra barriers to people. Your shortlist is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller every time you add one. Do your new trustees need a detailed understanding of governance, of charity governance, or an understanding of legal responsibilities? Do they need that at the moment they're applying? Or is it okay to say, actually, what we need is a willingness to learn, and we will help find you training to make sure that you do understand your responsibilities? Use terms like at a senior level with real care, because you might be thinking a senior finance professional would be brilliant. Anybody in the finance team at the local authority would be excellent. Whereas actually the person reading it might have all of that, but think that you're talking about the financial director of Tesco. In terms of practicalities, if you put in your materials that you meet on Thursday at 2 p.m, you are automatically excluding anybody who can't make Thursday at 2 p.m. So don't mention practicalities and review them every time you recruit new trustees. And although you will want to share the time commitment, do think about whether the time commitment, if it's high, whether it needs to be the same for all of your trustees, because often the usefulness of a trustee isn't measured in how much time they put in. And you might be putting people off if it's high for everybody. And of course, if it needs to be high, that's fine. You do also need to balance being honest.